Welcome to week 9. You are more than halfway through the course. Not only are you more than halfway through the course, you have also graduated from Photoshoppers to designers. That's right, I am considering you a designer, and you need to consider yourself a designer. So from this point forward, I don't care whether you think you do good design or not. What I do care about is you start thinking of yourself as a designer, and that's what the rest of the course is going to be about. The rest of the course is going to be about you learning how to be a designer. So what we want to see happen is improvement. Nobody expects you to be a great designer to start. But what I do hope to see is over the rest of this course, progress in your design skills. We are going to be doing nothing but projects the remainder of the course. Well, except for one thing. Week 9, the beginning of week 9, you are going to be learning about the basics of design, the fundamentals of design, what we call the principles and elements of design. In this class, we can only take a short period of time to talk about those principles and elements. And a lot of this is going to be your responsibility to learn. In fact, when you take a look at week 9, you'll notice that there are no other videos except this one. At least no other videos that I'm producing except this one. A lot of the rest of the course is going to be reading. You're going to have to read stuff. Okay, so don't shy away from it. Read every detail of every assignment. That's really important. Now back to the idea of design and the basics and the fundamentals of design, principles and elements of design. As I said, you are not going to get a full course on the principles and elements of design. In fact, we're only going to spend a short period of time taking a look at some of the basics of design. However, if you are a graphic design student and you want to pursue or continue in a graphic design certificate or degree, and I hope you do, if you want to continue, it is a requirement that you take the class Art D20, Two-Dimensional Design. This class is where you will learn the principles and elements of design. It's an entire class dedicated to just the basics of design and composition. Very important. In fact, it is a required course for any of the other courses you might want to take in the graphic design program. So as you look down the road and trying to figure out what classes to take in order to continue either in a certificate or a degree in graphic design, you are going to have to take Art D20 Two-Dimensional Design. So I recommend that you sign up for that class the very next time. Lastly, if you are going on and you are going to sign up for Art D20 Two-Dimensional Design, you can sign up for one or two other graphic design courses along with Art D20. So if you have any questions about any of that, go ahead and email me and I'll help you sort of decide what additional classes you might want to take. Back to this particular week, week 9. You are going to take a look at some of the principles and elements of design. You're going to have a little quiz about the principles and elements of design. And then you are going to move to your first real project. With this first project, I want you to remember what we've just learned. Not just remember it, I actually want you to do it. I want you to do the creative process that you have just learned in this project coming up. So you're going to want to do things like some research. You're going to want to do some things like brainstorming and mind mapping and thumbnails and roughs. That work, this work that you do in the development, the creative process, that work you do is called process work. Very often, if you are going to go and try to get a job and you're going to sit in front of an art director, and that art director is going to interview you and take a look at your portfolio of work in order to try to decide whether or not he or she wants to hire you, they're probably not just going to look at your finished products. They're probably going to ask you, hey, show me some of your process work. What they're asking you is, show me some of the work that you do in the creative process, because I, the art director, want to see how you think and how you get to where you end up. That's very, very important. So you want to get better and better at doing that. With this project and the remaining projects in the course, you're going to be expected to continue to work doing the process work. And you're going to be expected to turn that in. You will be graded on the quantity of your process work. On to week 9, spend some time looking at the principles and elements of design. Really dial in and try to see if you can understand the concepts that are being presented. And then take a look at that project and start the project. That's where the fun really is. One final thing before I let you go. In this project and all the remaining projects you're going to be doing in this class, you are still going to be required to interact with your team members on the group discussion board. There you're going to be posting your ideas, you're going to be helping each other, you're going to be posting maybe some thumbnails, maybe some roughs, in order to get feedback from your partners. I know I said one more thing just a second ago, but I got one more thing. You are going to start being critiqued on your work. I'm going to critique it, and so are other students going to critique your work. I've talked a little bit about that in the assignment. I just want to encourage you to not take critiques personally. Don't be sensitive. A critique is not about you, a person. A critique is about the work. We are taking a look at the work and being critical of it. That's what the word critique comes from. We are being critical, not in a negative way, in an educational way. We are taking a look at your work and we are talking about, yeah, some of the good things, but most of the time we're actually focusing on the things that can be improved. That's what a critique is all about. It should, in your mind, be a learning experience, not a personal attack. I'll try to be as sensitive as possible, but continue to remind yourself, if you feel yourself getting a little bit sensitive, continue to remind yourself that this is about the work and you getting better. You are a beginning student, and no one is good at this stuff to start out. It takes practice. So don't get too worried about the critiques. Learn from it, and then take what you learn from that critique and apply it to the next project, and your stuff is going to continue to get better and better. And that's what we want out of this course. So have fun, and I'll see you next week.